to just show me right before I break my fast, like for the 3 hours before I break my fast and for
Yeah.
like 10 seconds after I break my fast. Because it's honestly night and day. Afternoon when I was like, "Ah, I can't record." Like, I genuinely was dying. I was
Yeah.
like, "Can't do it. Let's do it after." And, like, I texted you at, like, like 7:45, and I was like, "I have so much energy right now."
And you're like, let's do it at 8:30. I'm like,
Let's do it
I thought you
ASAP.
couldn't do it. You could record
Yeah.
today because you were so beat up that you wanted to do it in the morning. But I was like, okay, we'll do it
Yeah,
tonight.
no. I'm telling you, the energy levels are just different. When g hot take, guys, if
It's a
you
sugar high. It's a sugar high.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, breaking news, everyone, if you don't eat all day, you lose your energy and will to live, and
Yeah.
then and then you eat, and then you're fine.
So remember when I told you that this year I'm going to try to reduce the amount of food I eat during Ramadan
Yeah,
just to see if I can match up with you?
sure.
No, I haven't. And on top of it, because there's nothing on TV to watch right now, I have been binging Survivor.
Wow.
So I've gone through like I'm going backwards. So there's a current season happening, which is season number 47, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah. No, 48, 48.
Holy shit.
Right? I was like, when did, how? And Jeff Probst doesn't even look old. Like he hasn't aged. The man is wearing the blue shirt and the khaki shorts, and he doesn't seem to have aged. A little bit of gray, that's it.
I'm just thinking, I remember the first season was, like, in the 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's been on TV for, like, 20 years, but
25 years or something like
so they've
they are
been
coming
sending
up
these.
with the 50th episode, and the 50th episode the challenges are all going to be like everything is like voted on by the fans, so
Yeah.
he's pushing that right now. But so I started 48, and then I was like, why did I stop watching this show? And then I looked up and I was like, oh my god, all these episodes, and this is supposedly the new era of Survivor, so everything is different, the way they play is different.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I need to watch this a little bit more. So I started going backwards. So now I've gone down from 48. 48 is something that's happening now. So I'm
Yeah.
watching it every week, right? But I have binged 47, 46, and 45.
Wow.
That's my Ramzan, is that I've sat here stuffing my face watching other people starve on Fiji, on an island in Fiji.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I feel like I don't make up the rules, but if I did, I would say that that's fasting.
Right? I think you could be doing, you could be checking off two things. You could be making $1 million on Survivor while, you know, getting through Ramadan. I think you would do really well because
I
you're
would
good at
n
starving yourself.
I would not do well on Survivor because I can't do the outdoors.
Me neither. I was looking at so Maya and I were like, she was like, you would suck at, you don't swim, you don't do any of this. I was like, everything that I was showing, I was like, I could do that. And she was like, no, you couldn't do that. I was like, but you would be good at puzzles. I was like, yeah, I would be great at puzzles,
Yeah.
and I would be good at all the manipulation and reading
I mean,
people. Yeah, I
yeah.
would read people well, but people would not listen to me, so I wouldn't be able to
You
manipulate
would
them.
be like a mixture between like Suri and Carolyn.
Yeah, where I will read people well, but
Yeah.
I will have zero influence on people because no one will believe me.
But then you would like, just like get by under the radar. And nobody would want to vote you out because they'd be like, it's
No,
Aarti.
I think they'll vote me out just because I wouldn't be able to run or walk or do
I
it.
know. That's the
Like you
thing.
have,
I'm a weak link when it
Mhm,
comes to physical activity.
right.
I did an
But
escape
it's very
room.
inspiring to watch people like, well, I was so fat, I was 210 pounds, and then I decided to go on Survivor and I work towards it. This is where I'm, and they've lost weight and they've gotten stronger, and they're like, this is where, it's all the mental games and how much they had to overcome and all that. It's like, I'm eating my chips and like, yeah, this is so good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm stuffing my face with food and watching Survivor. This
Well,
is my therapy right now. My I am going through like extreme anxiety and extreme depression. Part of it is genetics and biological, and part of it is induced by my surroundings right now.
sure.
And for me, I have found, like, you know how you've tried to find something that'll keep you sane.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was looking at podcasts. I sent you a couple of podcasts. I was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
Survivor, man. Keep binging it. It's 48, 47 seasons that you can watch. It can get you through some stuff. And then I'm thinking I'll start Amazing Race. I'll
Oh,
just
that's a
keep
good one
going
too.
through all these game shows
All the
because
CBS game
because
shows.
because you don't have to, they don't have any context of reality. Like, they don't have a context of, you can watch Survivor and it could have happened in 2010 or it
Yeah,
could have happened in 2024. Doesn't
yeah.
make a difference. You're just watching these, whatever, 20 people, and you're just watching them in that little bubble.
That's so interesting.
So
I only
you don't have to think about it in the context of, oh, back when, or oh yeah, I remember when this was happening, or anything of that nature.
the only season of Survivor I've ever watched is the first one.
Oh, I think I have a feeling I watched the first couple of seasons and then somehow it dropped off. Like, I must have gotten busy with life and never watched it. But I feel like I've watched a couple of seasons, though I haven't gone back all the way back. So
Well,
it's in HD. So.
it's not even in HD. Oh my God, Noah the other day said to me, he goes, "You know how like back in the day, and I don't mean like when things were black and white. I just mean like a couple years ago when like cameras were like kind of fuzzy." And I was
Oh
like, "Yeah." I was like,
wow.
"So like not HD." He's like, "Yeah, do they still make cameras like that?" And I was like, "Well, the old cameras still exist, but
Yeah.
like everybody's just making videos on their phones and stuff." And he goes,
Yeah.
"But do somebody's phone like do they have videos like that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was thinking to myself like, "Yeah, if you have like a burner phone or something."
Yeah.
But it was just so funny to hear him be like, "Not the black and white days." Just like the other fuzzy ones. I'm like, "Yes." You know,
Uh,
speaking of puzzles, I did an escape room with Donnie and Kendrick
I
last
know.
weekend.
Yeah. And how was
And
it?
it was great, except for our escape room, we got paired with 8 high schoolers, 8 seniors in high school. We were like
Oh,
I was like,
oh my God.
"So"
I would have loved to be with Donnie and 8 high schoolers.
no,
That
so
would have been like, even Kendrick. I would, the three of you, specifically the three of you with 8 high schoolers is an interesting reality TV in itself.
So we were going down into the into the whatever the escape room or whatever, and Donnie goes to me, "I feel like I'm gonna get bullied." I was like, "Donnie, right now you are getting triggered to when you were in high school, and I just want you to know that these kids are not the boss of you. Like they're very dumb. They don't know
Right,
anything in the world. Like
right.
you're more powerful than them, so don't worry
Yeah.
about it." He's like, I'm very triggered." But then we got down there, and he was like, "I'm gonna yell at one of them," and I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I understand. I would be frustrated around a bunch of 18-year-olds too." There were a couple of them that were good, like, they were legit. They were, like, doing good
Is
at
it all girls, all boys,
no,
or a
it was a
mix?
mix. It was
Okay.
mostly boys. I think it was 6 boys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
And the 2 girls, of course, were, like, the smartest
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
And there were some boys that were actually trying and into it, and other boys were just, like, sitting around throwing shit at each other.
Yeah.
And I just turned into a total mom. I
Yeah.
didn't I was like, "Honey, can you move over?" I was like, "What am I saying? I'm 39." But then I was like, "Oh, I'm 39. I could be their mom. I could have
Yeah.
given birth to them if I got married younger, you know?"
Yeah.
So it was just like
Oh,
but
teenage boys are very different from teenage girls. Teenage girls are mostly, for the most part, they are overly woke, if I may use that word, where they are like, my daughter will not even tolerate anything. Like, if I cannot even look at somebody and say, "Who is that? What is he wearing?" Nothing. No. Why do you care? Why do you care what another person wears?
good for
Like, why?
her.
Yeah, why are you looking at them? You shouldn't be looking at them. And it's like, it's a lot of things that I wish I was like them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, thank you for reminding me. I shouldn't be saying that. But I'm like, okay, these kids are good. At least in, some of the kids that I know and my daughter's friends, they are all
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
but
well,
the boys are very different. The girls are very different from the
the
boys.
boys are, I'm gonna say it, dumb. They're like really dumb. And so
No,
anyway,
even if they're smart, they don't want to show that they are smart. They want to act dumb.
there's like a weird like himboing of boys, you
Yeah.
know? Like it's very strange. Like girls are getting really smart and savvy and boys are just like, I don't know, whatever. Like it was
Yeah.
very strange, but I was decent at the puzzles. I was like, "Oh, this is
Okay.
good." So I think that maybe I'd be good at that in
Mm.
a
Yeah.
survivor situation, but physical activity?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I did escape room for Maya's, I think it was like 13th birthday or something. And I ended up like I ended up being with them because one of the kids didn't show up, and I was like so into the puzzles. And Maya was like, "It's my birthday, get out, let me solve the puzzle." I was like, "Yeah, but I know how to."
Yeah, I
I
know.
was like, "I wish we had all this when we were growing up. We didn't."
I know. I think I'm gonna do one with my kids and
Yeah,
Fahad.
I think that it doing it with the kids is so much fun.
I think though I'm worried that if I did it with Fahad and the kids, that I would end up in a situation where I leave the family and I never see any of them ever again.
Why?
What if they piss me off? And I'm like, you know what? You know what? You guys know everything. Why don't you and
A family
your
that
dad?
plays games together usually it, it's hard to stay together.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. But
And
weirdly, my parents, I have talked about it very early on in the podcast, but my parents um, used to fight a lot. They
yeah.
were always like,
Wait,
it was
real quick.
odd.
Wait, hold on, real quick. I do want to let people know we will be talking about Housewives and Summer House today. We've just taken a few tangents
Yes, because we haven't talked to each other in a while. And I don't get to talk all this shit with you because now you do that, all other subjects
with Raheel. I
with
know.
Rahel, so I don't get to say it, but I'm going to use this opportunity to
Yeah.
say it.
Okay. So your parents fought a lot.
Yeah, my parents fought a lot, but the one time, my good memories of them really getting along and really ribbing each other used to be it used to be if we were playing cards
Yeah.
and they were
My
like
parents
playing with
too.
the real money, and
Mhm.
that they got really competitive, but it was also fun, and it was like that was the one or few times that I would actually see the chemistry between them, but otherwise it was like, ooh. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I've been doing. Me and Fahad play board games together a couple of times a week.
oh wow, when do you find time? You're reading books, playing board games, fasting, taking the kids around, going to escape rooms, going to see Wicked. I don't understand this. Having iftar dinners. I don't understand. Oh, like how?
I don't know either. Now that when you say it like that, it does sound crazy, but I somehow have been making it work. I think the reason why is because I'm on really good drugs.
I still don't understand where you find the time. It has
I know.
nothing to do with drugs.
I know.
Where do you? I guess you're
I
not
know. Well,
binging
you can't
Survivor.
see. I'm not binging and binge. I'm not binge eating while binging Survivor. I also do want to point out that it's off camera, but the entire left of this room right now is a
Mm.
bed full of about 6 loads of laundry that needs to be
Girl,
folded.
I have like 2 rooms full of laundry. Today, Maya cleared out her closet and threw all of the clothes in a big, huge pile in the middle of her room and said, "None of these things fit me." And so I had to take her to Old Navy. That's why I'm late.
Okay.
But I'm like, what? I have to go sort through them because I'm sure some of them still fit her. She just doesn't like
Doesn't
it.
want them anymore. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I have to put them into wear them at home clothes. Put them into your
Oh, no,
drawer.
I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the others, I have to see which ones are still good enough to, recycle or send,
Yeah.
donate versus, give them away. So
Yeah.
I have to, yeah, I have to go through all of that. So there's a big pile of clothes sitting there. There's 2 piles of clothes that are in the laundry that have been pulled out of the dryer and piled on the floor after wash.
Yeah. That sounds right. That's
After
accurate.
wash.
No, I get that. That's about right.
Because
Uh,
she couldn't find something inside, so she kept pulling it all out, and
no,
now
I
it's on the floor.
understand. I understand.
Yeah,
You don't
I
want to
don't
know what
understand.
that's the thing. Not because right now I'm doing more things that are with other people. There's parts of my home right now that are just in shambles, and that just has to be that's the compromise. My
Mm,
house isn't clean,
yeah.
and that's why I can do other stuff because
Hmm.
my house isn't clean, you know?
Yeah, my house
Um
isn't clean, and I still don't do other stuff because I am shutting down mentally and physically,
Because
spiritually,
the world
emotionally.
is
I
crumbling
am
around
shutting
us.
down.
Okay, wait, listen. I just wanted to give you some props, okay?
Okay.
I think that you were onto something. Someone on Facebook wanted to tell you something because even though last time you were on, I was like, beep, 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 breaking news about Luis and Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, you were a little bit accurate because this week Louis was he was hit with a $2.5 million tax lien.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did I see that they filed for bankruptcy?
I don't know if you filed, but okay, let's see.
I saw some
Um
I saw something online that said they had filed for bankruptcy, but I didn't know if it was true or not.
okay, so I made a mistake of
Oh
clicking on a
no! It wasn't Louise. It
realityt.com.
was Jennifer Aiden had filed for bankruptcy. That's what I heard.
Jennifer Aiden filed for bankruptcy?
That's the
No.
news I saw on Facebook, but I was like scrolling. I can't see anymore, so I didn't read the rest of it.
Okay, it
I could
is a
only
Facebook
read
post,
the
so I'm
big
not
print.
sure.
I could only
Yeah,
read the
no, no,
big
no.
font,
That's
and I didn't.
okay. It's another one of those like weird Facebook stories that like nobody really knows is real. So I'm gonna skip the Jennifer Aiden one,
Mm,
but I will
yeah.
say about the Louis one is that he was hit with a 2.5 million tax lien, and the company he supposedly co-found went bankrupt. He got sued for $300,000. There's all this stuff, and then as of March 6th, Louis owes over $2.5 million in taxes to the state. That's more than his projected net worth. And
Hmm.
yeah, so Teresa previously owed over $1 million in taxes, which is I think what got her sent to the clanker. And
Hmm.
she still owes like 600,000 of that because I guess she's still paying all that off. But
Okay. Okay, but
we've
what did
we've
I
all
say that was
seen.
right? I don't understand.
No, but
What
what
did
you're
I
saying
say?
that was
I don't
right is
remember what
that
I said.
you said you sent oh my god, you sent me a Jesus Christ, Aarti. You sent me a link on Facebook a while ago, like a week
Uh
ago,
huh.
and it was that Jennifer Aiden had to loan them $500,000 to
Oh
buy
yeah,
their
yeah,
house
yeah,
because
yeah.
Louis didn't
Mm,
have any
mm,
money. So I
mm, mm. Yes,
said
yes, yes.
that was not accurate, but what is accurate is that Louis does owe money. It's $2.5 million instead, not to Jennifer
Mm,
Aiden,
yeah,
but
yeah.
to the state of New Jersey,
And then
which is
now I have
more
said
than his net
now I
worth.
have declared that Jennifer Aiden has declared bankruptcy. So let's see if that comes true.
Let's see if that and you know what? You might be onto something. So maybe it's time to start making up news about other people. Like,
Right.
I don't know, Elon Musk declaring bankruptcy,
I think
Donald Trump
he's
having
gonna
an
yeah. No, Elon
aneurysm.
Musk is gonna get like a flesh eating bacteria. That's gonna
Mm.
like, and he's not gonna find a cure. He's gonna go to NIH trying to find a cure, and NIH scientists are gonna be like, "I'm sorry, we're home.
Yeah.
We were furloughed. Yeah, no,
And any scientists are going to be like, we would love to help you, but that arm of our research department is gone.
hmm,
It got
yeah,
defunded. And so
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk
You
about Real
know what
Houses.
would work? Bleach.
What? Yeah, I know. Just to put it into your skin, like the way
Mm-mm.
Trump did. Okay, wait.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about Real Houses of Atlanta. We had the
Okay.
second episode. Again, I'm very entertained. I was giggling watching it the whole time.
Me too.
I have to say though, some of those nose jobs are crazy.
Mm-mm.
Brit Brit sounds like an old-timey telephone operator. And then I looked her
That's
up.
true.
She's a perfectly beautiful girl before she got this insane nose job. And she's
They
still beautiful,
they've
but
all gotten a nose job. They made their faces look like each other. That's why I was confused because they've had that. You know how everybody in California looks like a Kardashian.
yes,
Everybody in Atlanta seems to be merging into the same
Kenya.
face. Yeah, it's not even Kenya. Kenya has a natural face. It's almost
Yeah.
like the Brit, the Portia, the all of them,
Kelly, yeah.
Kelly, they all seem to have the same face. It's a little bit of the I don't know. Yeah,
It looks bad.
yeah, it looks bad. It looks artificial. It doesn't look like their
And
face.
I've looked up all these women before they got worked on. Like Brit
Mhm.
used to be a video vixen, so she's
Oh wow.
beautiful.
Okay.
And I don't understand why she did that, but her voice is I'm like, somebody's got a, what is it, a deviated septum? What happened? What happened when they went in there? But okay, so this episode focused on Drew versus Portia
Yeah,
because we opened up back at Shamia's house where Portia's like, why the fuck are you hanging out with Drew? I mean, why
yeah,
the fuck are you hanging out with Dennis the hot dog king?
yeah.
And Drew, I always, okay, people are on the fence about Drew, and I don't know why. Either you love her or you hate her. And I love her because she is such a liar, liar, pants on fire, but she does it with so much conviction. It's almost like a baby Karen Huger level of delusion. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think there's that much of a greatness in Drew. I think you're giving too much prop to Drew at this point.
But she lies
She
better
lies
than like,
through her nose. It's like
but she lies better than like a Mia. Like Mia's lies are dangerous. Drew's lies are silly.
stupid.
Yeah, very
They're like,
stupid.
yeah, there's almost like self-deprecating jokes, basically.
Like the way that she was talking about, like, no, Portia, like, he loves you. Dennis loves you. And actually, the song that I'm making with Dennis is about you. And he
Oh
was
my god.
crying. And he's like my angel. And he's my brother.
Yeah.
And I just, it's all about you, actually, Portia. And Portia just being like, yeah, okay, listen.
Yeah.
You're stealing members of my cast, basically. Like, that is the issue, right? Because
Yeah.
that's like, I wasn't quite able to understand what the problem was until
Mhm.
later on when Drew went with PJ and Dennis to like that little bounce house or whatever that was. And I was like, okay, so the issue actually is that when they film these shows, they have their families. And right now, she can't even film in her house
Mm-mm.
because of her stupid ex-husband.
Right.
She can't film with her ex-husband.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I don't have that. And now you're going to take Dennis from me too. Now you're going to film scenes with Dennis.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's like, she learned from that Portia's family reunion thing. When
Mhm.
Dennis is around other people who talk shit about Portia, he does not defend Portia.
Yeah.
He kind of jumps on and he makes
Right.
fun of her too.
Right.
And I think that's the stuff that she wants to avoid. That's why she's crying at the end of it, because she's like, I don't have anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I like that she asked the producers, "Can I break the fourth wall?"
Yeah.
She just started going off, and because Drew might not have thought that she would be addressing that, but
Yeah.
Portia like, "No, you brought him on the show. That's what I'm." I'm like, I don't care what you're doing with the song because I don't think it's going anywhere. You're not going to
Yeah.
make any money. I
Yeah.
don't care about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you talking about Dennis on the show, using him for your storyline when I'm
Yeah.
planning to use him as a storyline, and then you are doing this without having talked to me when I have helped you with so many other things. So I see where she is upset. I am just shocked that Portia is crying on this for the instead of like just snapping Drew's head off.
I mean, she did call her a low down dirty hoe.
Yeah, but even that was mild, don't you think, for a
I mean,
Portia?
yeah, that's true. I mean, it was so funny to me because later on, Kenya and Portia went on lunch, which was so nice and refreshing.
Yeah.
And we got this little flashback of like, oh, their love and hate
Oh, I love
relationship,
that.
right?
By Ashy. I loved it.
But it was so funny because like producers didn't put in there the time that Portia beat up Kenya.
Beat up Kenya, dragged
It's like,
her, and Kenya with her little scepter, remember?
yes, but I was like, oh, you put in all of the clips except for the one where Kenya got her ass kicked by Portia. But in that scene, when Kenya and Portia are talking, like one of the things I feel like that I picked up on was that, I don't know, something about Portia, like, I don't know, it's hard to it felt to me like Portia is very much worried that the show is slipping away from her if she doesn't control every single thing that's going on around her, you know?
Right. I feel like Portia. Yeah, exactly. So Portia is coming back because she needs this show
Yeah.
as she's going through this new divorce that is going to be very complicated. It's going to be even more complicated than everything else that she's gone through.
Yeah.
And she's leaning on the show as her income and her security blanket, so she doesn't have to worry too much about Simon and all of his shit.
Yeah.
So for her, this is almost like a do or die, and the stakes are so much higher this time around than it was before with her child and everything. So I think she's at a point where She's like, why do I have to still struggle when I
Yeah.
thought I had gotten through that phase and I had a child, I had my husband, I had all the money and all of that. And now I'm back to square one and I have to struggle again and I have to
Yeah.
climb all the way up again. So I think her spirit is a little broken. Poor Portia.
It is.
Mm,
Um, okay, speaking of Kenya,
mm.
I'm just
But
like
she
Kenya.
lied on Candy. So
She what?
I said she still lied on
She
Candy.
did lie on Candy. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna forgive her for that.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of Kenya, so the only it's just so frustrating that Kenya had to do that stupid ass thing that she did because she's so beautiful and so wonderful to watch. Like
So good at
she's
stirring
so
the pot. She's so
watchable.
natural at stirring the pot.
It's just so good.
She just
But
reads the room so well. Oh my
so,
god.
so Brit at home, we learned that she got married during COVID, and so she's gonna have a big wedding this season. She said Bravo's gonna pay for something, and it's gonna be my wedding that I've been waiting to
Right.
have. And then I was like, oh, so Brit is actually very insecure about how she got married, which is why when Kenya said, "Are you married or not?"
Yeah.
That's why she got so weird and defensive, and she keeps bringing it up, being like, "Did you see? Did you see? Kenya was so shady to me," and it's like Kenya knows how to be very shady.
Yeah.
That wasn't
That wasn't
shady.
shady. That was like a genuine question. It's like, this is your second marriage and this is your second wedding ring. Is that what you mean when you say
Yeah.
second wedding ring?
Yeah,
Like,
all she
who
was trying to
says
say was,
second wedding ring? Or you say this is my upgraded wedding ring. Why would you
yeah,
say second wedding ring?
it was just so
And that was just a
strange.
natural question.
Yeah, and it's almost like she didn't
Or
bring
she could have just said, this is my wedding ring. She didn't have to say second at all.
yeah, or all she had to say was, "I like to wear my engagement ring sometimes just
Yeah.
alone."
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been married. I've been married for a couple
Yeah.
of years now. That's my
Yeah.
husband.
Not
But
wedding,
Brit was
engagement ring.
yeah,
Yeah.
but she's just so weird.
Yeah.
Brit is very weird, very insecure. I can already tell that Britt and Kelly don't have a real friendship because
No.
when they
Yeah.
had that scene together, Britt is like, "So I don't want to like ask you too many questions, but what happened with your divorce?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"You claim to be best buds and you don't
Mm-hmm.
even know why Kelly's getting a divorce?"
Yeah.
Clearly, this is for the television show. I can't wait for you guys to fight with each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be so
Uh,
good.
and to be honest, neither of them have actually captured my attention. Like, I don't find them compelling.
Yeah.
I think Kelly may have a story, backstory, and all of that, but it's so dark that right now, coming out of Potomac, I don't want to see more dark stuff. So I'm like
I
not quite
understand.
interested in it,
Well,
especially with everything. I am already in a dark space, so I don't want to see that.
what about Angela?
Angela is funny.
I
Angela,
I I
Angela
want to
is
see more of
delusional.
her
She is
family.
more grandam Karen
Coded,
Huger
yes.
delusional. Yes.
She is. She is. I love her husband Charles and how he hates that she's on this television show.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
trying to recap this party with her daughter,
Hmm.
and this man is like grinding, I don't know, nuts or something in the background, slamming plates. She's like, "Shut the fuck up. Just be quiet."
Yeah.
And he's almost like he is behaving the way my husband would, which is like, "Why are you recapping this party? We already talked about this."
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Charles
Right.
is like, be normal, be a normal person. And Angela's
Yeah.
like, I am trying to be a normal person, Charles. God, stop. And I just feel like I can't wait to continue to watch that
Like,
dynamic.
my husband doesn't understand why we do this podcast recapping a show that other people have already watched. What's the point of it? You're just recapping it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's friends
other people
talking about a
watched it
show.
too.
Yeah. So stupid.
Yeah.
Um, what did you think about Shamia's surrogacy and family planning story? It made
That
me
was
sad.
interesting for
But I
me.
thought it was
This
really
is,
good.
yeah.
It was like a breath of fresh for a show like this because we've seen so many years of housewives like, I want to have a baby, I want to have a baby. And we haven't
Shamia
seen
just openly came out and said, this is through surrogacy, and we're trying to, I'm going to go
yeah.
meet with the surrogate. We're going to talk about it. And I think Shamia also wants to, it was interesting that um, the surrogate probably, the person who was the surrogate probably cannot be a surrogate anymore
Yeah.
because of what she went through,
Yes.
the pregnancy for Shamia. And so that was very nice of her to give a shout out to the surrogate and bring her on, because one of the things that happens is when you have a surrogate is the surrogate becomes your family,
Yes.
right? And so if you're truly talking about family, then you have to include all of that.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm glad that she didn't hide it. She did not necessarily hide it, but she did not omit it in her
yeah.
story, because then that would have become a whole story in itself, because these women would have said she didn't have her baby, this is through surrogacy, she tried to hide it, blah blah blah, why didn't you talk about it? They would have made a big deal about it. She is just like open and honest.
Yeah, Shamia came on, told us about her bubble guts, told us
Yeah.
about her HVAC king, told us
Mm-hmm.
about her pregnancy struggles, her
Mm-hmm.
surrogacy, her ectopic pregnancy. Like,
In just two episodes, we've learned so much more about Shamia, and it's like surprising to me that Shamia wasn't cast into the show before. Like, why
yeah,
did it take so long for the producers to cast Shamia? They brought in so many other losers through.
yeah, it was incredible. I loved it. I love
Mm-hmm.
Shamia already.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to be juicy is Shamia and Portia apparently don't fuck with each other right now. Mhm.
Yeah, I can
Mhm.
see how that would happen.
Yes.
Yeah, once you are on the housewife, that's what happens. Best friends, no more.
Well, speaking of best friends no more, let's talk about Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, they're doing that thing where they find a mouse and they won't
Hmm.
let it go. And her
Hmm.
name is Sutton. She's the mouse. They have a dinner where
She
Sutton,
that mouse deserves it a little bit.
yes. Okay. So they're in St. Lucia. They have a dinner where Sutton apologizes to Dorit about calling her poor.
Yeah.
And Sutton is such a liar because she's like, because we saw in the confessional her being like, I meant it, I said it, and I'll say it again. Right. And then this time she's like, it was out of character for me. It was not something that I
It
wanted
was
to
out of
do.
character for me to actually say it out loud on national
I think
TV.
it all the
Even
time.
I think it all the time. I know it's true, but I know we are not supposed to talk about it. So it was out of character for me to out you like that,
And
even
for
though it's
that,
true.
even though it's true, but for
Yeah.
that, I am very sorry. Even if it
Yes.
is true, even though
Yeah.
you are poor.
Yeah. That's
But
so
sorry.
Reba. That's so Reba of her to.
That's so Reba of her. Oh my God. Yes. And the funniest thing that happened this episode is Sutton and how she holds on to the buoy that is Kyle Richards.
Yes, and the fact that finally, and then Garcelle, because everybody said, Garcelle, you're always supporting Sutton, you're always her minion. Garcelle tried to stand up on her own. I'm like, Garcelle, you did not do that because you suddenly are upset that Sutton was being friendly with Kyle. You did that because everybody called you out on it.
Yeah, and also because you realized that it's true, and then you said, "Oh,
Yes,
I'm not doing it anymore." And also,
right,
Sutton literally sat with Garcelle and said, "This is how we're going to call out Kyle
right.
about the Morgan thing." So Garcelle brings it up, and Sutton says, "Well, I think we should drop it." And she's like, "What?"
What? We planned this
Yeah.
on camera.
Yeah, you told me what to say. Like, what are
Yeah,
you talking about?
right.
And then the only reason Sutton is doing that is because Kyle's like, everybody, I think you should be nice to Sutton. And like,
Yeah.
so now they're fine. And then they go on a boat, and Sutton feels henpecked because she's like, she's doing that over correction thing where she's like, I just want to remind everybody again that I am really sorry again for calling Dorit poor. I hate to keep bringing up that she is poor, but I am sorry for calling her poor. And they're like, okay, Dorit, if you meant it, you wouldn't have to keep repeating yourself, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, and she's like, well, I don't know why y'all are handpicking me. Do you think? Okay, I have two questions for you. Do you think that Sutton is being bullied by these women?
I think the women, I don't think she's being bullied by them. I think the women are, it took them a minute, right? Like Erica, when Sutton did all of that to Dorit, she didn't say anything, but it took her a minute or two, and then said the next day or the day after, when Dorit and Bose were talking to her, then she was like, "Oh, but what about me? What about the time when she said this about me?" Well, she didn't say that in the moment when Sutton was doing this. It took her a couple of days to digest that and come up with it. It's almost like she went back, talked to Mikey about what happened, and then
Yes.
Mikey was like, "Yeah, but that's what she did to you," and she was like, "Oh yeah, you're right," and then come back, and it's almost like she doesn't really feel what she's feeling against Sutton, but she feels like she needs to contribute and she needs to do this. So it almost feels kind of staged and not real.
Yeah. I mean, I
It
thought
doesn't
what
feel
was
like real outrage from Erica, for example. It just feels like, okay,
well, I
they're
think
just
what's
piling on because they love to see the producers that said Sutton hasn't had enough meltdowns this season. You need to give her another one.
well, what I think is really funny is that it is true that Sutton is insensitive to people when they're going through things.
Yes.
I do believe that that is true.
Yeah.
She does not know
And
much
I
like
think
her
it's because
mother.
she wants to avoid the feeling,
Yes,
whatever the emotions are. The minute she sees somebody else emotional, she immediately she wants to get away from it and ignore it.
exactly. It's very much how Reba functions. She does
Yeah.
not know how to deal with somebody getting held up at gunpoint and robbed. She does
Yeah.
not know what to do when people's whatever, people are going through all this financial shit. Like she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do when Kyle is,
Hmm.
getting a divorce or not getting a divorce. Like she doesn't know how to deal with these situations. She's a jerk. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like she's like socially unable to like
Inept. Yeah.
yeah, she's socially inept in that way. She's emotionally inept.
Yeah.
So that is true. But then for Erica to be like, anytime a woman is down, you
Yeah.
come after them
Yeah.
was really funny considering that Erica has many
Come
cases
after
against her,
widows and orphans.
orphans, widows, burn victims. It's
Right.
like and it is funny. Like I think Sutton is such a she is so much smarter than she puts on because for
Yeah.
her to hang on to the fact being like, oh, you think I'm mean to all women?
Hmm.
All women. Erica's like, I didn't say all women. I meant
Yeah.
women in this group. And she's like, oh, but all women, Erica. And when Sutton is saying all women, what she's reminding Erica is like, Erica, no, actually, you are the one who doesn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about women.
Yeah.
Actually.
Right.
And I loved it, but I think that what is really clear to me is that the only reason Sutton really loses her mind on the boat is because Kyle isn't defending her. Because Kyle's like,
Mm.
well, Erica's just trying to make a point. And then
Yeah.
she really loses it. Sutton's like,
Right.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm
And
believing you
Garcelle
more.
has checked out. Garcelle is like, not this time. I'm gonna show Bose that I am not your minion. Sudden.
And also, I think that Garcelle has always made a really great point, which is she does not understand why Sutton is so obsessed with Kyle.
Right.
But the reason why Sutton is going after Dorit so hard from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the season is because Kyle and Dorit were not friends. So the
Mm-hmm.
easiest way to become Kyle's bestie is by being Kyle's enemy's biggest
Yeah.
enemy. And
Right.
so she thought she was doing that. She was playing that hand. And like, if I do this, Kyle will be my best friend. Little did she know,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle was like, me and Dorit are fine. And
Yeah.
then now it's like, oh, now you guys are best friends again?
Yeah.
Now I'm
So
all by
for me,
myself?
over the years, I've always wondered how Garcelle is so friendly with Sutton, right?
Mhm.
It just felt not um, even when Sutton was saying all those things with Crystal and was going after Crystal and all of that, I always wondered how come Garcelle is being so friendly with Sutton. Why is she being okay with her?
Yeah.
And for me, that has always been an odd friendship, and I feel like there's more friendship, true friendship from Garcelle towards Sutton than from Sutton towards Garcelle. And I
Yeah.
wonder if tomorrow um, Kyle becomes Sutton's bestie and shows her a lot of attention, if Sutton would then drop Garcelle.
The thing is that Kyle would never be the kind of friend for Sutton that Sutton needs
Yeah.
because Kyle doesn't listen
Yeah.
or
But in the
remember things.
hypothetical that if
Yes,
Sutton found
totally.
another friend that was like like Kyle, that kind of attention, if she got from somebody else, then she would drop Garcelle. I feel like she's not as good a friend to Garcelle as Garcelle is to her.
Well, yeah, because Garcelle's like a genuine human being and Sutton's an actual
Yeah.
weirdo.
Yeah.
It is a delight to watch. Again, it's
Yeah.
white on white crime when it's Dorit versus Erica versus Sutton. Like I think it's so fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Did you
Okay,
see that there's all this drama going on between Garcelle and Bose now?
I don't think that it's real because Bose said in an interview that she's heard people say that Garcelle was posting stuff about her, but
Yeah.
she's like, listen, until Garcelle comes to me and says something to me directly, I
Yeah.
have no reason to believe that
Right.
Garcelle
I
has
don't
any
think it's
issues with
real.
me.
I don't
I
think
don't think so
what
either.
Garcelle posted was anything related to Bose.
And
I think
Bose said
people are
it
just
in it.
making shit up. They just
Yeah.
cannot. People cannot just see two black women in a white dominated show, and they may not be the best. They want them to be immediately best friends. They don't have to be. they're different personalities.
Yeah, they
Just because they're
either
black doesn't mean they have to be super friendly and
and
that
I
they have to become the besties and be together
or
or
alternatively
fight or
yeah,
fight.
or fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And she said in an interview, like, I joined the cast and people said, oh, because there's a black woman now,
Mhm.
now Garcelle doesn't need to be there. And she's like, why? There's a quota of 4 white women. Why does it have to be that there can only
Yeah.
be 1 black woman? So
Yeah.
I love Bose. I think she's like handling all the interviews and stuff so well too.
Right.
So if there is something, I don't think that there is, because when
Yeah.
Garcelle was on Watch What Happens, they didn't even talk about it. And
Yeah.
usually when
Andy
some
will
shit
keep
has
going.
gone down at the reunion, Andy will like
Yeah.
poke at it and kind of
Yeah.
preview. So I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
Although, okay, so Teddy's, by the way, Teddy is getting treatment for brain cancer, which is like crazy. Like,
Mhm.
peace and blessings to her. I hope that she's okay.
Mhm.
That being said, Teddy is moving in a way on her podcast that is so strange. She went on her podcast with Erica and she was like going through all the list of housewives that have reached out to her and haven't reached out to her since her diagnosis. She's like, Garcelle hasn't reached out to me. She's like, I
Hmm.
haven't heard anything from Garcelle. I haven't heard
That
anything
doesn't
from
mean
Dorit.
anything. That doesn't is not a reflection of Garcelle's character.
No, but also,
Like
if you go,
why?
okay, here's the thing. Well, you and I have both experienced a lot in the cancer world.
Yes.
When you go through something that life altering, if you come out of it with anything besides just like being content and appreciative of anybody who like is around you, if you
No.
come out of it being like vengeful and crazy, then
No, and I see. I have I have I know, and I continue to know many people that are going through cancer. People who
sure.
have metastatic cancer and who are living with cancer, right? And will continue to live with cancer. And I can tell you, cancer has nothing to do with your original personality. It
Yeah, if you're
doesn't
original,
matter.
that's true.
It
If
does
you
not
were a piece of shit
matter.
before,
You're going to continue to be one after. If you were a maggot before, you're going to continue to be a maggot later. If you were a bitch before, you're going to continue to be a bitch. It very rarely changes your basic personality.
that's true. Yeah.
So
So, I mean,
I think cancer is all, yeah. So when somebody has cancer, it is terrible and it's painful. It's painful for their friends and family and
yeah.
caregivers and all of that. But at the end of the day, if they didn't like you at one point, they're not suddenly going to stop suddenly like you.
Yeah.
And if you did not get along with them at all, and there was genuinely no friendship whatsoever, you don't have to reach back to that coworker.
Yeah.
That is more unnatural than anything. That is fake. That is unnatural. If
That's
you
true.
didn't have a genuine friendship or any kind of relationship with somebody, and then you reach out only because they have cancer, that doesn't feel genuine
That's
to
true.
me.
I agree. And
I know coworkers who have gotten cancer or have died. It doesn't mean that I go to the funeral because I genuinely didn't have a relationship with them.
that's true.
Yeah, it just seems
It's like Teddy,
art.
please
Yeah,
don't do that. That's
yeah,
weird. It's weird stuff. And I hope you're okay and I hope you
yeah,
like focus on better stuff,
yeah.
but don't
She
be
was
such a
weird before.
garbage
She'll
person.
continue to be weird. We just hope, Teddy, that you get better and you remain weird for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I hope you
But
live a
long,
long,
weird
healthy,
life.
weird life.
Yes,
That you beat this terrible disease and you can continue
right.
to be the gnat that
Yeah,
you
we can
are.
wish for her to get better while acknowledging that she's really weird.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Summer House. Carl throws a pirate party and
Yes.
the curmudgeon Craig comes and he stresses Paige out to the point where her entire body is aching. And they have one of the best things that's always my favorite on Summer House is when couples have serious conversations in costume in the middle of
Hmm.
a party.
Yeah.
It's
In a blow up you
pirate
know
ship.
no, a blow
Was it
up floaty
floating?
on a blue tarmac that is laid out on the grass for some reason.
It was so funny.
I'm
Okay.
like, you guys are sweating and you're sitting in this plastic, your butt is getting stuck to it.
It's like that party alone contributed to global warming.
I
There's all
think
this
so.
plastic in this in like all that plastic is from Amazon. It's
A
full of
lot of
lead.
yeast infection, a lot
Ugh.
of
Okay.
mhm.
So Craig is there, whatever.
Eczema, a lot of eczema.
Craig is there and he's stressing Paige out. And
He stressed me out. Watching him stress me out.
anybody who watches the show and sees like, "Oh, yeah, I totally see why Craig was blindsided." How?
Oh,
This girl can't stand you.
yeah.
She says at one point, "I'm worried that when I go on tour, it's going to make me hate Craig."
Right. I love that sentence because the way she broke it down, she was like, I worry that when I go on tour, I'm going to end up hating. And then I thought she was going to say, I'm going to end up hating my life,
Yeah, my
hating
job.
going
Yeah.
on a job or something. She said, hating Craig. And I was like, yes, yes, thank you for saying that.
It's so clear to me. It's
Right.
so it's actually so refreshing to watch somebody like Paige on
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
because she really knows what she wants. That's one
Right.
of the best things about Summer House. Like the thing that drives us crazy about Amanda is that Amanda does not know what she wants,
Yeah.
right? Amanda's miserable and she doesn't know what she wants. But people
Yeah.
like Lindsay, people like Paige, like
They
they
know
really these are
exactly
girls
what they
that
want.
know exactly what they want.
And that's
They're
why I
not
like New
messing
York
around.
girls. I like that in comparison to Charles. What is it? What is that other one?
Southern charm?
Southern Charm. Yeah, compare there the girls have no idea what they want. They want to get they all they want is their mother said they should get married around this time. They should be getting married, having kids. That's all. They don't think about career. They don't think about Paige is so on point. They are so the girls are so much more smarter and powerful in New York and Summer House than they are in Charleston. It is just so it's like watching two demographics of young women,
Yes.
and it just tells me how the country has voted and how people think and everything. It just in those two shows you can tell the difference, right?
Totally. And just how Paige is functioning in this. Now, did you see I watched the after show. This week was the
Hmm.
first time they had the after show. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It was so good. When she shares that story about like how when she was on tour, she had a panic attack.
Hmm.
And rather than helping her,
Hmm.
Craig told her, "Why don't you watch this documentary about ABBA and how going on tour destroyed all of their
All the
families?"
families.
And she's like, "What?"
That
Like,
alone would make you want to break up with them.
and
The fact
she's
that she didn't break up before the season started, so she could allow Craig to have some time, and they broke up only in the mid season, so that the season would air and nothing would get out. That
yeah.
was the only consideration she had to give him, and she didn't need to give him that, and she gave him that.
And she says in the after show that she loved him so much that she was protecting him in so
Hmm.
many ways, right?
Yes.
And we've been pointing that out about her for
Yeah.
years. Like
Right.
she's obviously we see Amanda do it.
Yeah.
And I think that it was so nice for her to just say like, yeah, I loved Craig. I loved
Hmm.
him so much that I tolerated a lot of this stuff, but then
Right.
I realized that he's not doing for me what I need. Like
Yeah.
Craig does not want a woman who is more successful than him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
He does not want that.
Yeah.
He wants
He
and then
literally says that, like, once you have kids, you have to pay attention to me and the kids, right? You can't be I'm like, oh my God,
she says to
where do you like
Amanda,
you
she's like
need uh
she says to Amanda, even if we get married and have kids, you're always gonna come out. She's like, you're always gonna be number two.
yeah, or
She said
three.
maybe she said even number 3 after
Yeah,
the pets. So
yeah,
she was like I think it's so clear what Paige wants and it's so clear that Craig is just not interested in that kind of a relationship. And then apparently Shep was
yeah,
on the after show for Southern
yeah,
Charm.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
watch it and
yeah.
he was like, what does she do some stupid little talk show? I'm sorry, Shep, what do you do?
What do you do?
What do
You
you
are
do?
buying short tooth necklaces for random girls that are not at all
I hate
interested in,
you.
and then you put them on national TV and pressure them and really stalk. It's like so creepy to watch. He's in his 40s and he is pressuring this young girl in her 20s to get married and have kids with him when she's like, we didn't even have a relationship. What are you talking about?
It's wild.
Yeah.
And I think that anybody who watches Bravo in the year 2025 who feels any sympathy for men like Shep or Craig or Austin is again an indication of why the country looks the way that it does
Yes.
today.
Oh my God. Yes.
Um Carl wears a lot of eyeliner in this party, and he
Yeah.
thinks that that is spitting game on that girl.
And the girl was kooky too.
The girl apparently in the after show, Emerald was like, she was making eyes at all of us.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
So
Emerald,
I'm like, poor Carl. Either way.
good
Yeah.
luck to you, Carl. But I
Yeah.
feel like Carl is trying so hard. He's doing so much. It's just like, I just,
He's so
he's
awkward.
so awkward.
It's like sober Carl is so awkward, doesn't know what he's doing. And he should lean into his awkwardness and just be he shouldn't be on this show really.
It's very strange.
But
Carl is
started his new what is it? A drink or sober
soft,
bar or something? Soft bar.
soft,
What's it soft?
soft,
The next one is gonna be tighter bar.
soft and tenderness, softness and tenderness.
To softness and tenderness bar.
I hope, I don't know if Carl goes to therapy.
You
I
need
think
to
all
go
of
to
the
the
girls,
soft bar. It's in Brooklyn, right?
it's in Williamsburg, yes.
Yeah, yeah, you should go there.
He called it a soft bar for mindful consumption. And I was like, what about mindless consumption?
And what about like you're not going to be with only sober friends? There's going to be friends that drink. So do they bring their own beer? They bring BYOB?
And by the way, I think that it sounds really cute that you go to a place and you get really nice beverages and you get some snack bites and everything. But guess what?
That's
Every
called a
single
juice
restaurant,
bar.
no, and also every single restaurant in New York City has
You
zero
can
proof
proof.
drinks.
Yes.
Every single restaurant in New York City has mocktails.
Yeah. And
So,
snacks. And
and
you can
snacks.
hang out with all of your friends, not just your
Yeah.
sober friends.
And also a full range of a menu,
Yeah.
all the foods.
Yeah. That's what Lindsay was saying. Like, how is this different from a regular juice bar?
I'm gonna look it up because I don't know. Okay, soft bar.
Look up the
Williamsburg.
menu and look up what drinks he has.
Okay, a soft bar is a bar and cafe for mindful consumption. Shut up, Carl. Soft bar is a mindful bar and cafe offering an elevated experience without the influence of alcohol. We're open early to late and provide premium functional coffee. What is functional
It's
coffee?
like what is with the mushrooms.
The mushrooms and non-alcoholic cocktails and light bites curated from our neighborhood. Come as you are. Okay. Where's the menu, bro? Where's the menu? Is there a menu? Okay, it says there's a shop.
There's a
Okay.
shop. There's a say hello, and there's a
Say
support
hello.
and
Okay.
support.
Support.
So give him money
Learn more.
for free. Buy his merch.
Oh, it's a GoFundMe. It's
Yeah,
okay.
or say hello to him.
Wait, hold on, Aarti. Should I invest in soft bar? Okay, hold on. Guys, there's 39 days left to
Mhm.
invest, and there's 96 investors. If 4 of us who listen to this podcast
Mhm.
go in, we could be the 100th investor of Softbar.
Invest in a powerful lifestyle brand platform with multifaceted revenue sources. What is multifaceted revenue sources? Like t-shirts and caps?
I don't know.
And significant
I don't
corporate
know.
value?
Oh my god.
It
Premium.
shows a woman turning a drink with the mint leaf on it. Drinks with benefits. Wait, and there's a watch now, and it's like a whole pitch, but it's just him with his hats and bags, but nothing about the actual drinks.
Okay,
Not a single
menu.
drink menu.
Okay. Yeah, coffee and coffee alternatives. Mushroom coffee and coffee alternatives, including a combination of mushroom ingredients that contain healthy benefits and high quality coffees, teas, matchas, spirulina, and cacao. Girl, please. If I invest $500, I would get I would become an investor, and also I would get a soft bar tote and hat.
Mm-hmm.
$500. Please, Carl. Oh,
Entering a near $1 trillion industry. $987 billion industry is what he's getting into.
oh
With the
God.
243 billion in projections by
Okay.
2032.
Okay, one of the
2032
Okay, hold
projection.
on. Hold on. One of the pictures here is like the van, the windowless van where he was like giving out drinks. And then it's like two guys doing like the rope exercises. What are we doing here? Anyway,
Oh my
call me
god,
when
there's
you
a
want it.
video. He has a van that he has. Oh,
It's just so silly that a man who is on a television network up literally about mindless consumption wants to make a brand about mindful consumption.
yeah. And he has an article from Vivek Murthy about
Mhm.
the harms of alcohol consumption.
Yeah, we all know,
We
Carl.
know that.
We don't need you to explain to us that, being interested in creating non-alcoholic stuff is a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea, but it's just that it already exists. And so far, all you have is a windowless, creepy van that you drive around where you offer people sodas and coffees. We already have those. They're called halal trucks, where you
Hmm.
can order food there too. You can get a falafel or a lamb over rice or a chicken over rice. And then you can also get a beverage and coffee and sometimes a bagel, depending on the time of day it is. Like, wouldn't you love to see Carl doing like a halal truck instead?
Yeah.
You're
He
not
should
listening.
have a food truck.
You
No,
are
no.
fully invested. You are reading
Fully.
his business plan
No,
right now.
I'm looking at he has like sparkling water and sparkling thing that are not even Kyle's brand on his website. And I'm like, you are right. A food truck that he can drive to the Hamptons,
Yeah.
Summer House. He could, instead of that big ship that he brought in, it could have been his food truck.
Like maybe Carl should do like, I don't know, like an ice cream truck.
Like a franchise of soft serve ice cream instead of soft bar.
Yeah, and honestly,
What
like
are we trying to give this man any ideas? He shouldn't be doing any business. He should be in a 9 to 5 job, making money and saving it for the rest of his life because he should not be on a TV show.
by the way, his
Let's come
veneers look
on the show, by the way. I don't need him. There's nothing,
no.
he doesn't bring anything.
He makes me
He
feel
doesn't bring
uncomfortable.
anything to the table.
He makes me feel uncomfortable and awkward when I watch him. And
Yes.
his teeth, I can see his teeth from a mile away. I was watching it on my phone. Like I was watching
Yeah.
Summer House on my phone while I was like cooking this
Yeah.
week. And I had like I didn't realize I had the dimness like turned down, like the brightness or whatever turned down, but I could still see his teeth. Like they were so
Mm,
bright. And I was
mm,
like, they're so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's just weird. And this is coming from two women who kind of like went off. Like we were really appreciative of him 2 years ago when he was
Cause he
making
made
his
his
bed
bed.
and he looked so good in it. Like sober Carl looked a little bit more buff and
Yeah.
filled out his shorts well. But yeah,
And
now
now we're
we're
just
over
like, you're
him.
so weird. You're such
Yeah,
a
you're
weird
so weird.
guy.
We're
You're
over you, just like Lindsay was. We are over you, Carl.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled to watch the women get over these men. I'm like excited for Amanda. I hope Amanda watches Paige and Lindsay thriving, doing their
Mm,
thing, and is just like, you know what? I don't need Kyle. Because
yeah.
Kyle thinks Summer House is his brand, and I know Amanda feels like she needs the show. But I think
Mm.
what Amanda needs to realize is that like you could still be on the show even if you break up with Kyle and you have
Yeah, I think
Paige.
she has a following now. Now
Yeah.
she doesn't have to have Kyle. Kyle and Carl can go, and Amanda can stay. I think she would be perfectly fine with the girls. She spends more time with the girls anyway.
Would you want to see Amanda, Paige, and Lindsay on New York on Roni?
No,
Okay. Lindsay?
Lindsay would have worked a year ago. I don't think not at the new Roni. With they have already sort of gelled together. I don't think bringing in Lindsay would help really. Um, I think when the new Ronnie came on and nobody knew anyone, I would have
Yeah.
preferred Lindsay then, because she could have been the one
Yeah.
connect, being the Bravo connection, and people would have seen her. And then I think Lindsay and what's her name would have hit it off. What was her name?
Jessel?
Not Jessel.
Aaron?
No,
Sai?
no, go.
Jenna?
No,
Bryn?
keep going. Bryn.
Imagine.
Yeah, they would
Um,
have hit off, or they would have fought, and it would have been a whole thing. But now I don't think Lindsay's chaotic energy would help.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, I would love to continue to see, like, even seeing glimpses of Gabby this episode was great. Like, Gabby's
yeah,
just so nice to be
yeah,
around. Like,
yeah.
she's like, I'm dressed like Halle
Don't let
Berry.
Danielle back.
No,
Just have these girls, and they need something else to talk about. So I'm glad that the men are there to give the girls a storyline, but I really don't. I really am loving the girls, and I don't
love.
care for any of the men.
No, not
Any
at
of the
all.
men.
Not at
Yeah.
all. Jesse Solomon, grow up.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those two, West and Jesse Solomon, you're not Beavis and Butthead. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not some sort of iconic duo. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're no, get out of here.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
I
it.
think the girls have them there only to lift their luggages upstairs
Upstairs.
and to
Exactly.
open jars, and
And that door that like doesn't really
that
open the
door
front
gets
door.
stuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just to do all the heavy lifting stuff so they can lay in the bed.
Yeah. If they had lighter luggage and
Yeah,
maybe if they had like one of those chairs that what's her name Marlo has in her townhouse,
yeah,
they could have used that to get their
yeah,
luggage up and downstairs. They wouldn't even need the men.
yeah. I think one of the things that was sinister in this episode was um, how Craig handled Kyle.
Kyle? Yeah. They're
Like, Kyle
so
wanted
weird.
to talk right away,
Yeah.
and Craig was like, "No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk." And he knew that was bothering Kyle.
Yeah.
Him not wanting to talk, and he had this sinister smile on his face as Kyle was spinning out of control.
It's
And
like
I was like, Craig is such a jerk. Oh my god,
again, these are crimes that
grown
white
men.
men are committing against each other. And they're both so emotional. And I'm like,
Right.
really? This is the
Yeah,
majority. These are the people that rule this country, white men?
yeah, yeah.
These emotional white men?
Right.
Anyway, that's it for
Yeah,
this week.
yeah.
Um,
It was okay.
it was
We
all right. It
had
was a light week. It was a light,
It was
easy,
a
breezy
light
week.
week, which is why I went through 3 seasons of Survivor.
Yes. Are you watching Severance?
I told you I don't have
You don't
Apple,
have Apple. That's right. You're an
and you
Android
don't want to
family.
share your.
I can't. It's only an Apple thing. I don't know what to do. I don't think that you can just like.
I can go through Amazon Prime into Apple.
Oh, okay. We'll talk. We'll talk off mic. I don't want to give people my Apple
No,
login.
I don't know, but I don't want to use Amazon Prime. Anyway, okay.
Anyway, I haven't used Amazon at all during Ramadan. That
I
was
haven't
another
bought.
thing that I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
Is I
I
stopped
haven't either. I
using.
haven't gone to. Today I went to. We went to Old Navy, and there's a Target next to it, and the parking lot was sparse.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, there were like 7 cars. That's it. And
Our
that parking lot
Costco,
is usually overflowing.
our Costco is popping these days.
Yes.
Target is empty. And I
Yeah.
will say this. Okay, so I didn't use Amazon at all this
Mm-hmm.
Ramadan so far. And by the way, there's only a week left. But we're doing like donations for our local food pantry. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, our list of food pantry items are all on Amazon. So I was like, well, we tried.
Yeah.
We tried our best. But anyway.
Yeah. No, it is kind of hard because I realize how much we are dependent on Amazon for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because if you shut down Target, Amazon, and Walmart,
Yeah.
you're pretty much left with nowhere to go for certain things. You
Mhm.
have to go, and I was like, we need an alternative list of local stores, like mom and pop shops that you could get items in.
Yeah.
I just need like somebody say, "Hey, I need this. Where do I go get it?" And somebody should say, "Hey, yeah, this little mom and pop shop has this item," right?
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
was like I needed some specific things for the house that I needed right away, and I would have had to go. I wouldn't get it other than Amazon or
Yeah,
Walmart. I couldn't have gotten it anywhere else.
I
And
know.
then I went to Ace Hardware and I was looking through it. I couldn't find it. It was just like painful because I'm trying to avoid Home Depot too. So it's too much.
It's so hard. It's
Yeah,
so hard to be in America right now. It's
I
so
know.
hard to be an American.
To have money and not be able to
To
spend.
you know how hard it is to have money and not be able
Not
to
be-
spend it?
Yeah, I want stuff and I
Like,
can't
I
get it.
get it. Like,
I
people are
don't need
getting
it. I just want it and I
like,
can't get it.
like, I get it. People are getting deported and losing their jobs, but like, I'm not using Amazon. So,
Right.
like,
Karma points.